Good morning. My name is Jeff Jordan. I'm the product line manager for the Power Grid division of Copperweld here in Middle Tennessee, not too far from Nashville. It is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021, and I'm here with Wallace Natal to talk about Copperweld in grounding grid applications in electric power substations. Wallace, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
And my name is Wallace Natal with our Delta Engineers here in Garland, Texas. And I've been working in the substation business for about the last 35 years. Substations, transmission lines, power plants. And we've been using these products the whole time I've been working in this business.
Thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. Let's get right to it. Wallace, where do you use Copperweld in your substations?
We use Copperweld products in our substation grids, mostly. That's where we have the most grounding in our substations. Any application where we have to create a grid on the taps coming up onto the substation equipment, the fences, all of our supports, steel supports, up around the A-frames, getting to the surge arresters, up our static shield poles, up to the shield wire. We put them in the cable trench that runs through the substation, and we put them in the cable tray inside the control house. If we have concrete duct bank, we put it on top of the concrete duct bank. It's a rugged connection. It's a sturdy and durable connection. It's a bit more durable than our typical soft drawn 4-aught cable that's been annealed and softened to make it flexible.
Okay, so it's more durable than 4-aught copper soft drawn in the same application, which is really good to know. Does that mean it's more difficult to bend than copper?
Not at all. It's actually easier to bend than the soft drawn 4-aught, if you could believe it, because of the stranding, and you can see the stranding. So it's a popular product. It's been used, and in my experience, we've had no difficulties with anyone using it. Anything with connectors or availability or reliability, its current carrying capabilities. I've never seen it damaged. It comes up looking just maybe a bit tarnished if it's been in the ground, maybe a bit oxidized. But some of these I've seen 30, 40 years old, they come up, you put a little polish on it, it looks brand new.
Great. You mentioned connectors. In your experience, have you had any difficulty finding Copperweld connectors for your substations over the years?
Not at all. It's widely used. It's been around in the business a long time. So all of my fitting vendors, whether it's DMC, Burndy, or if you're going to use the exothermic weld, all of them accommodate the sizes. It's not much different in diameter than the standard copper 4-aught or any other typical size you're using. So it's very easy to accommodate. All the fittings go right on. I use swage fittings. They go right around this. There's no issue with it at all. They also go around ground rods as well. So, these materials are well known in the business and well used and well liked.
Okay, let's talk about corrosion. So you mentioned a little earlier that Copperweld conductors in your substation sometimes come up looking a little tarnished after 30 or 40 years. So is corrosion of Copperweld steel core an issue in your mind?
No, we typically don't have any. The corrosion issue happens when you get away from the copper, depending on how you land it. It's usually what you landed on. If you landed on something with zinc, like a fence or a structure, you're going to affect the zinc. The copper of course, is a noble. So it's not, the copper generally is not the element we worry about. As far as the steel inside of here, because of the way it's put together, we never see that corrode at all. In fact, the only time we ever really see the steel is when you cut it. And if you don't coat it, then you'll get a little bit of oxidation just on the very, very end where you've exposed it. That's the only way you know sometimes that it's not all copper.
Okay, so the metallurgical bond and the interdiffusion layer between the copper and the steel has been effective for you in subgrade applications in Texas. By the way, that would have been a conductor made by the same exact factory where we make our grounding grid conductors today. So it begs the question, what's the longest you've seen Copperweld in service in your ground grids?
The oldest substation I worked in, it was almost as old as me. So it's about 50 years old. And I pulled it up, and we had a piece that we had to replace. And as I was saying before, you could have burnished that piece. It would have looked brand new. It just had some, your normal oxidation on it.
50 years. So that would have been manufactured in the 1960s or 1970s. And that was Copperweld?
Yes. Yeah. All Copperweld in that station.